iDoby Radio, the future of alternative.
We all know it's called the bionic, the bomb, the puff, the blow, the black, the herb, the sensi, the chronic, the sweet Mary Jane, ganja, spliff, reefer, the bad, the Buddha, the homegrown, the ill, the Maui Maui, the method, pop, lethal, turbo, tie, shake, skunk, stress, wacky, weed, blaze, the boot, dime bag, Scooby-Doo, Bob, bogey, backyard boogie.
Yeah!
It's the Cool Nerd Week Show! That's yes.
And that's Sasha.
And we are live on a Monday night on iDoby Radio, back in action. Once again, find us everywhere that you can. We are on YouTube. We are, of course, on iDoby. You can find our episodes there and everywhere, really, if you just search Cool Nerd Weed Show. But we would love you to watch our YouTubes and our videos and to hang out on iDoby for everything that you can possibly imagine. Thank you, iDoby, for hosting these silly nerds for however long that you have. Find us Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's all you got to do is search. We are the nerds, and you know us by now. And I was back in LA. I haven't been back in LA in, oh gosh, I guess 2 months-ish, I think. I left in April, and I came back last weekend, just for a little bit. Just for a second. You've been holding down the LA fort.
Yes, I'm keeping it real here in LA. And holed up in the penthouse.
Yeah, it's been, okay.
The last time I actually saw you was around 420 when we drove to New Jersey. Yeah,
it's a long time for the nerds to be apart.
Time.
Usually don't spend a lot of time apart like that. But yeah, I've been in New Jersey with family. Oh, okay. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, I wanted to do a quick live review because I have to start smoking as soon as we start the show. And here in New Jersey, the thing about being back in LA that was pretty sweet was I got to smoke LA weed, and I miss it so much. I miss LA weed so much. It's still, it's pricey, but it's pricey all over the place. And it was just nice to be back smoking the terpenes and just enjoying that part of LA. But back in New Jersey, and I do stand by that if you can get weed legally and afford it, on the legal market, that you should take advantage of it. So I do patron my local dispensaries. This is from MMD in Jersey City. They deliver, and they have a very nice delivery person. He's a sweetheart. And I got some cookies, which I got London pound cake.
The London pound cake?
Yeah, and it's pretty good. And I got another strain I can't remember, but this I wanted to try, and I don't usually try stuff like this, but I don't know, it's just like let me do it because I haven't tried like a moon rock type of thing other than Jeter's since recreational.
Okay, so
I'm trying it right now. So
what are you smoking?
This is called Superflux.
Okay.
That, you can't see that, but it's the strain Huckleberry Mints.
All right.
I'm sorry, Huckleberry Runts. It's written in script, so it really looks like mint. Runts and Platinum Huckleberry Cookies. That's the cross. This is supposedly infused with diamonds. Diamonds!
Diamonds are forever.
They're like Elizabeth Taylor. These have always brought me luck. It's an old reference. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
That was like a lit commercial back in the day. See you. These are those. And yeah, so it's infused. So it's basically as close to like an old school moon rock, if you know, you know, as you can get, right?
Well, okay. So it's infused with diamonds, right? So the moon rocks were like coated
Right.
and that they were like dipped and then rolled in keef. Yeah, it's more along the same lines as a moon rock. Is it flavored? Is it like an infused flavor? Or is it just
No.
like, because the diamonds don't ever add flavor to it, which is probably better
It is. It is.
than
I don't
like
like flavored
a
weed.
terp spray. Yeah.
I hate the spray. I really do. And I'm just saying it. I mean, I've teetered around it. I've danced and danced around the truth. And I don't love spray packs. I don't. I think I don't want my weed to taste like candy. I want it to be naturally sweet if that's the terpene that I'm going for, like a dessert strain. But, this isn't so bad. It doesn't really taste like anything.
Was it like finely ground? Was it a little bit more like like bottom of the bag, kind of shaky ground, or is it like pre-ground?
You see?
Oh yeah, that's
this
like
is you can't show this. Blur it out on YouTube. I don't think you can show it, right?
no, YouTube says we could do whatever we want on YouTube.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, that one's
Don't
going
post this on Insta.
uncensored.
I know. I just showed my boobs, by the way. That's what I just showed.
That's why we're on After Dark.
Yeah, so that's pretty finely ground, I would say. I wouldn't call it shake.
No, it's probably ground
Machine
up,
ground.
machine ground, like B or C nugs, and then they add the THCA crystals to it. How's it smell? Like when you stick your nose in that jar.
It actually smells pretty good.
Okay. That's a good sign.
I wouldn't be like, that's not good, but like
it smells like
I'm kind of
ground
mad
up
at how it
nice
smells.
flour. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like luxury, like top shelf, but it smells like a pretty good mid-level
If
weed.
it smells good and it's got good flavor and it's getting the effects you want.
Don't be mad at me. I have no idea what it cost. I think it was only like $45. I know.
That was my next question.
I know. I don't even know what I did with the receipt. I couldn't even tell you. We could look it up though. We do have the technology. Hold on. But how proud are you that I brought up the container and we didn't have to stop the show for me to go friggin' get it?
I am so proud of you.
That's after
that's huge.
82 years of doing this show, I think I'm getting better. Okay, so MMD says that this is hold on.
I'm on the Superflux website right now, and it looks like they do live resin vapes. They have concentrates. Their flour.
Yeah, it was 45. 45
infused for an eighth.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's
price.
not bad.
No, considering.
Do you have the test results there? What's the THC top out at?
So the THC. Okay, so this is what caught my eye. Obviously, is like it was a high THC, and I was like, "Come on, we can't be saying flour is this high," but it's infused, so it's 48% total THC. So, and there's like no terps or anything in it. It's just pure THC and CBGs, a couple of like 0.1% of that. So, it does. No, it has like very little terps. The highest one is beta carotene at 0.42. So it's not terpy. It doesn't really taste like much. I mean, as you'd expect with something that's like diamonds. But again, if I have to smoke diamonds in my weed, if that's what you're telling me, then I don't want it to taste like anything. If I'm smoking diamonds in my vape, I don't know how I feel, because to me it tastes like plastic. It tastes like I'm like smoking plastic, which I don't like. But this, because I think it has weed in it, kind of feels like weed, like strong weed, maybe.
Yeah, if it's like it's probably like it's a little bit lower testing, probably some uglier nugs that they ground up. Just fine, because you're gonna smoke that anyway.
Right.
And that those diamonds are gonna add a good percentage to it. give it a nice kick.
Yeah, and I've been saying this too, and I got this because I was actually looking for lower THC weed because I can't get myself out of the habit of getting a high percentage, and lately I've just been like, I don't really like the way this is making me feel. I do feel sluggish, and I do feel like, I don't know, it's not giving me relief. Something's different about what I'm smoking, and I'm assuming it's the high THC percentage, but it's not like helping my tummy or my anxiety, or I feel like my body is trying to work against it. So I was looking for stuff that was a little bit lower, not like low 20s or anything, but a little bit lower, and that was more terpy. So that's why I got the cookies, because it's pretty terpy. But I was like, I'm gonna need to be stoned, so I wanted to try this. It's pretty good. It's okay.
Would you purchase this Superflux pre-ground infused again?
I don't know. Maybe. I'll see how much I smoke this, because I'm not going to go downstairs and like roll another joint of it, but I may go back and forth with it. And since it's pre-ground, it's pretty convenient to just like take with me places,
I could always tell when I look in your stash the things that you don't like. I'll open up the little box. I'm like, oh, that was not a hit.
What's in
that's
there?
Still there. Well, I cleaned it out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That is very privileged that I get to just like choose what kind of weed that I want, but
it's mostly full of edibles right now. I cycled out all the trees for you.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know if I'd buy it again, but it's not bad. I'm not too mad at it. It does make me feel stoned, and that's good. But I might be on like a terp kick right now, and it's just the way it has to be. So that was my live review. I kind of feel like we should take a break.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show with TS and Sasha. Don't panic. It's organic.
And we're back. Sorry.
We're back.
It's a Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's TS.
And that's Sasha.
we're yeah, we need to do it that way, okay? It seems a little OCD, but it's just the way we need to do it. Or else we just don't get on track. I literally say it like all the time. Okay. So last week I said I was in LA and for the weekend, and I really did go out there just because I hadn't been, and also Long Beach Warped Tour was happening. Warped Tour Long Beach is how we're referring to it. That was finally happening. Felt like it was never going to come, but it did. And Adobe Radio is the official radio partner of Vans Warped Tour, and also Warped Radio is the official podcast of Vans Warped Tour. And we've had so many people on, and it's been so cool, and I haven't got to do any of it. So I was like, I would like to be involved in the radio station that I love oh so muchly. And you are a Warped Tour veteran, which we will get into. And like, I'm talking like veteran, like the first war. So
WT1.
WT1. And yeah, there was battles, but there was also victories. And so I hadn't been to Warped Tour I couldn't even tell you how long. It's been a long time since I worked at a terrestrial radio station. And I hadn't really seen Warped Tour from like a fan point of view since even longer. But we went knowing that it was going to be different, and knowing that it was going to be like a new kind of brought to today version. And we were kind of excited to see how it was going. And I was really also excited to be going with Adobe because they really do represent, and we really do have like our hands deep in the scene, and they just kind of like those Warped Tour and Adobe really do go together. So I was really stoked to do that. And we do have Warped Radio going on, and we're going to make this kind of our own version of Warped Radio. So we talked to so many people like Andy Black and TX2, and like I talked to Royal and the Serpent, who had a fantastic set at Warped Tour, and now we're gonna talk to TS.
Yay!
And I don't know. I guess like it's pretty crazy because the first Warped Tour was when?
1995.
The late 20th century is when the first Warped Tour was. And okay, so how did you wind up on that tour?
I started touring with Sick of It All in 1994, the end of 94, and then they were touring the touring cycle through 1995, and they happened to be on that in the summer of 1995. They did all of the East Coast dates. A lot of the bands they had like the core group of bands that were on, like L7 and Quicksand and Seaweed, and then other bands joined throughout the country, because it was a pretty extensive tour that went everywhere in the US and several dates in Canada. So Sick of It All was on the East Coast dates, and that's where I met up with the Warped Tour.
Okay,
and
cool.
But
go ahead.
They loved the Warped Tour so much. It was like the perfect place for them at the time that they ended up being asked to do the West Coast dates too.
Oh, that's amazing. Sick of It All did.
Yes.
Okay, so when you guys were there, did you like for that first tour, that first run of each show, like East Coast dates, was there like a minute where you were like, oh, this isn't like a normal tour, you know? Because, you know, we had festivals and tours before, but this was like, I mean, Warped Tour was pretty legendary from the second. Even though it was ragtag throughout all of the years, it was like a meeting of like punks and just music lovers and like maniacs. Like, was there a minute where y'all were like, we fucking love this? Like, what was the moment that made them so excited to go to the West Coast?
Well, it was like there were all these bands on, different styles, and the crowds were just showing up and going crazy.
So was the crowds.
Like the crowd was going crazy. Also, there was like the skate ramps.
I was just gonna say that was from the get, right, from the jump.
Yeah,
they had to. It was Warped Magazine or whatever.
Yeah, they had the skate. They had the half pipe and the street course set up, and then they also had the motocross, which was like the early days of like
so cool.
The triple Moto X. You know, doing all those stunts and jumps was just it was fucking wild to see that every day.
That is awesome. That is something pretty crazy, because that is so much energy and so much to see. You know, it's like a circus that you're in, you know, that you're just like, oh, then there's flying bikes over there. Oh my God, there's a giant skate ramp over there. And you're like, oh God, there's 45 bands playing right now. But, you know, as a roadie, I'm sure it's, you have a task, right? Like, you're pretty focused on, or what's your day like?
Well, okay.
First Warped Tour ever for Sick of It All's. Were you tour manager, or you were?
I was a drum tech.
You were drum tech. So you're drum tech.
I became the default tour manager on one of the Warped Tours because our TM had enough and just fucking got on a bus in Kansas and split.
Oh no! Oh no! Cool. So you get it, you load in your
that's
or quote unquote load in.
Yeah, we were the Warp Tour carried our gear on their truck. So every day, like somebody would unload it, and I really had to find it, find where everything was every day.
Hmm.
But their crew, like I actually have met lifelong friends from the first Warp Tour. So Larry Palm, I met LFP. He hooked us up every day. He made sure that everything was where it should be, because sometimes it was challenging. You never know where anything was going to be. You'd wake up and be like, "Oh my God, where's the nearest clean restroom? Where's catering? And where's our gear going to be? And also, what time are we playing?" Because nobody ever knew what time you were on, so you had to
Right,
kind of
it's
be
still
on
like
your
that.
toes. Like even in the early days, there were the multiple stages. There were like a smaller stage. You're just being bombarded by music everywhere, and the fans come out. This is one of the good things I thought about Warped Tour was like fans had access to the bands, and the bands would go out to
Mhm.
their like merch booths and like hang out.
Well, so what was your span of Warp Tour years? And who were you
Um,
with?
okay, so 1995, I was with Sick of It All. In 1996, I hit up Kevin Lyman because I wasn't doing anything and asked him if he needed people for production. So I got a job doing production, where I took care of the sponsors. I set up like the Sony PlayStations every
Oh, sick.
day. uh, you know, just making sure they had power and fans and all the tents were set up and weren't going to blow away. And that's what I did in 96. And then 97, Sick of It All did the whole tour, from the start to finish, which is like crazy. That tour is like almost 2 months. It's like 6 shows in a row and 1 day off. It's kind of brutal.
It's a
It's a brutal
grueling
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
bands that love it though. Like it's
I mean,
you could call it a rite of passage, but I'd almost call it like, the bands that do, especially those like those early days, that's like a band that wants to like just play every day. Like that, you got to want to be there.
yeah, you're
Can't half-ass
exposing
it.
yourself. You're exposing yourself as a musician to so many different people, like a huge cross section of people that probably would have never gone to your show if you had been in that particular town. But now they're coming to see these, all their favorite bands, and then you always learn about new music. So that was great as a band, and something you would you'd look forward to. The bands did it like every year. It's just crazy. The other part of that is once your half-hour set's over, you have the rest of the day to kill.
Right. You just
And
like watch stuff.
yeah,
Or,
you're
party in your bus or something. I don't know.
all of the above. You're partying on your bus. You're going out. You're watching some bands. You're watching your favorite bands play every night. You're going to go watch the skaters during the demos. You're going to go watch the motocross, and that was a lot of fun. So in 1998, I started touring with Rancid,
Mm.
and that was they were like one of the top tier bands, so they always had like a designated time slot. That was crazy too, because Rancid was a pretty big band, and I had to watch the gear because people were always trying to steal shit from me. People were always trying to steal Brett's drumsticks.
Like crowd people or like.
Oh yeah, people in the crowd, because
Oh my God.
part of this access to the bands
Yeah.
is sometimes you don't have the
Right.
best security, or there might just be a snow fence separating you from the punters.
So Rancid had a good time slot. That
And
was your-
then
and then what?
in 1999, I was with The Living End, Australian
Oh.
3-piece.
Oh yeah, I used to like them.
Yeah, great guys. We had a lot of fun together. They were like in the bottom tier of bands. So sometimes they would play at noon, and then I'd be done working at 12:30 in the afternoon.
That's pretty
And the
sick.
rest of the day, the rest of the day was game on.
That's pretty lit. That's like, all in a day's work. It's not tiring though. It's definitely, any tour run is tiring, I guess. But like Warped Tour, especially because of how unplanned it is for a lot of things, it like you definitely get some wear and tear on you. And probably by the end, wait, are you like stoked for it to end, or are you like, we've had so much fun?
It is exhausting, but like that first day when you get home, and it's like you're in that mode, and then by nighttime, and you're like, oh man, I really wish I was at the barbecue with all my friends getting lit. And you have that post tour depression for sure, because you just went to battle. You just did like 50 days in like 40 you did 50 shows in 46 days. And you're exhausted, but you love it. And then you get home and you miss it. And I think that's why bands will do it 10 years in a row, or 10 different.
Yeah, it's obviously it's like intense summer camp, like it's like you're going, yeah, you're just, that's how everybody describes it for sure. And I would agree with that. I like definitely can see how it builds a family, and how you experience like a moment in time with that family, so it bonds you forever. What was your last Warped Tour?
1999.
That was your last Warped Tour. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was with who you said?
The Living End.
That was with the Living. Okay. So you didn't do any ones after that?
No. I went to one. I just happened to be in Buffalo in like 2012 and popped into that one. And by that time it was already way different. Like NoFX was still on, but the bands were definitely changing.
What were they? I know what they were.
I remember seeing like 303 for the first time. And the year it's like around that time. Who was still on? It was it was hot as balls. I think I only watched NoFX and a few other bands like hit on somebody's tour bus.
Did you see a band that you were like, this is like gonna be the next big band, and they weren't, but you thought they should have in the 90s at Warped Tour?
Well,
90s
okay.
Warped Tour.
I thought that band Seaweed that was on the Warped Tour would be much bigger than they were. Also, I guess L7, I don't know if they peaked. I thought they are a pretty big band, but I thought they'd be much, much bigger.
What was your favorite one that you saw?
Oh, shoo. My very favorite band on Warped. There's a lot to choose from.
Give me your top three.
The top three of surprises were like fucking Eminem.
You saw him?
Yeah, I was on that
cool.
year. The Eminem years.
That's cool.
That was crazy. Eminem was probably the biggest surprise, because his first we had a tape. His first tape came out. That was just crazy. Who else was on there?
The Warp Tour of 99 or 95. What about that first Warp Tour?
Oh shit! The first Warp Tour.
Yeah.
Sublime was on that.
Mm.
So, to be honest, they weren't great.
That's what a lot of people say that. It's a general.
But I did get to see Sublime later that year, and they were awesome. They played the Palace.
Nice.
So
And then we saw them this year.
seeing
and they were
actually,
great.
yes, seeing the new Sublime with Jacob was awesome. That was fucking great. That was the best Sublime I've ever seen, ever.
They sounded really good. I really liked their set was good. I felt really good about it. I like Sublime. I do. I'm kind of a sucker. I feel like nobody I know likes Sublime. But then we saw a homie there, and she was like, "How good was Sublime?" I was like, "Right?" Like I was like, "Do you also like Sublime?" And obviously we were with a sea of skillions of fans there.
Another top band.
Yes.
From it was like 90s, 98ish.
Mm-hmm.
Limp Bizkit, maybe 97. They killed it every day.
Wow. I am not surprised. They perform really well. They're good performers. Wow, that's crazy. Limp Bizkit on the Warped Tours. Good times. Good early Warped Tour times. Is there a story that you would love to tell? Your favorite Warped Tour story? And we'll close with that.
It's one I've told before, but I'd like to tell it again.
On this show?
Yeah.
We'll tell it again.
I'll tell it again. There's with a new twist.
Ago. Okay.
With a new twist. Okay, so the first time I had ever eaten mushrooms was on the Warp Tour. I procured a bag from a good friend of mine who's still a lifetime friend of mine, and then I asked another person that was I think they were out with forget who they were out with. I asked them what I should do, and they told me, how much should I eat? And they told me to eat the whole bag.
Oh dear.
Which was bad advice. I did not do that. So I ate a good portion.
At least you knew not to.
I was like, that sounds like a bad idea. So I ate a good portion, and I'm sitting on the bus. We're watching a movie, and then all the faces start getting twisted and distorted. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's time to go for a walk. So I went on a walk, and we were at the Gorge in Seattle, which is a beautiful venue. And I'm walking, and I see Fletcher. Mm-hmm. He's like, bro, what are you on? You got a good little happy dance going right now. And I was just walking.
What must you have looked like?
I don't know. I was probably like do 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 do, and
that's hilarious.
I was like, I'm going for a hike
by the man himself.
Yeah. And then I went about my business, watched the show. There's like vineyards, and there's the gorge, and it's very natural. It's a beautiful environment. I had a great day.
Well, that's a great Warped Tour story, and you got pretty cool names in there. That's awesome. And that is like the type of shit that Warped Tour is. It's your first time doing something, but it turns out to be pretty great because you are at Warped Tour, and everybody, all of the artists who have been on it for a long time, they just say it just feels like, it's like fucking Cheers. Like everybody knows your name that you've been going to Warped Tour with, like for people, of our age. And so like it obviously changed throughout the years. I mean, you said with the music it did. And I'm sure throughout the years it did behind the scenes change, right? I mean, do you talk to people who are just like something else changed?
When we were we were interviewing Less Than Jake, and they were saying that they'd been on like the most Warped Tours ever in human history, and they said, around the 2000s, the haircut started to change, the music started to change, but they just went out and did what they did.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but
sure.
this one was, it had all of the elements of the Warped Tour in it, wrapped into like a very well presented, gigantic music festival.
The one that we went to,
Yeah.
yeah,
2025.
yeah. Agreed.
Which I thought that was great. It looked amazing. Everything sounded so good.
Yeah, from our point of view, I mean, we really did feel like it was a good, the vibes were good. And I was glad to have done it and to have been there. But yeah, then there were people who were at the first ones. There were people who went to all of them. I mean, Shane from said that like he had gone to every single Warped Tour, either as a band with Silverstein or by himself.
Yeah, the show that he was describing when you interviewed him, I was there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to break and like point to you, but I was like, I wish this was on our show so we could talk about it. Because I was like, what was your favorite? And he like literally dropped that show, and I was like, oh, TS was there with that band. Like that's why he's who he is today, is because of one of those shows that you were at.
So I always think that's amazing as well. People come up, they're like, yeah, my mom took me to that show.
Oh, I love that shit. Yeah, I love that shit. I love seeing that at all the bands that are doing these like anniversaries and stuff like that. I'm like, that is fucking cool. That was really nice to see all the families there. And a lot of them, you can tell they're the band families and stuff. Or they're with the crew, or, you stop at a city where somebody can come out and hang, because it's so many cities, and that brings people together in a nice way.
And I always my parents would always come out to the show in Buffalo, and they'd bring my brother. Both my brothers would come out. One was really young. I actually got him on stage to watch Eminem.
Whoa, that's like fucking cool.
My youngest brother, yeah.
Damn. That's sick. Well, thank you, Warped Tour. To quote the Great Fish, what the fuck is that Warped Tour? And it's cool. You got to experience the first and the latest, not the last, because tickets are already on pre-sale, I think, for next year's. Yes. So good times. No, I'm glad I got to experience it with you. We got to see old heads. That I thought that was really cool, and like it felt to me cool. And there were people all over the place that I was like, wow, these are people who have like been around each other for a while, and you just carry those friendships and those moments, and it's a cool moment to like be a part of. So thank you, Adobe, for like everything in the world, and like the stuff that we got is really cool. So just make sure you're watching our YouTube and our social media at Adobe Radio, and it was a good time, and I'm glad that you got to go and see your homies and experience it in this new and modern way. We're going to come back and do a quick little puff. We'll be right back.
The final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha.
You don't smoke weed anymore? Okay. So for today's final, well, it's more of a puff. Delaware, a place that I am going to be. Shout out Dewey Beach. I will be there. Is finally going to allow recreational sales of marijuana, and that's happening. That happened already on the 1st.
As of August 1st of this year. Delaware joins the rest of the civilized world and allowing recreational adult use cannabis for all of its residents and visitors.
Woo! Woo!
Congratulations, Delaware.
Yeah. Well, good for you. So you have 12 retail locations in Delaware. Delaware's tiny. That's, it's a good start. We would like to see more, excuse me. So hopefully there's nothing holding that up. Like in New York, excuse me. So hopefully we'll see more pop up and more. What can people expect?
Let's see. You are allowed to purchase up to 1 ounce of flowered cannabis, up to 12 grams of concentrate, or cannabis products containing up to 750 milligrams or less of Delta 9 THC.
Delta 9?
That's what it says here in this article on the Delaware Online, which I suspect this person who wrote this article does not know a lot about cannabis.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it says here, and I'm quoting, the state weed office defines as 1 ounce or less of marijuana in form of leaf marijuana.
Oh, leaf.
leaf marijuana. You definitely don't want to be smoking the leaves.
No, that won't do anything.
You want the flower.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
All of the medical cannabis locations in Delaware were allowed to pay $100,000 licensing fee, and then they were allowed to convert and do both medical and adult use cannabis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this questionable article also says leaf marijuana comes straight from the flower of the cannabis plant, and concentrated cannabis products are extracted from the plant in wax, oil, and similar products.
Is it written by AI or something?
It seems like there's a lot more being written by AI these days.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you find a retail weed place near you. There's a few counties that have a bunch of them there, and you can find them. And hopefully you'll have more, but it's extremely exciting. You do have some sales tax. It's I think it's 15% or something, but ain't nothing compared to what California goes through. Trust me, 15 sounds like a dream.
That sounds very reasonable.
Yeah, I would love that. Well, New Jersey, I can't be complaining though, because New Jersey is only 7%, so I don't pay nothing sales tax. But I trade that in with higher prices of weed in general.
When are you heading to Delaware, Sasha?
In September.
I am going to be expecting a full report about Delaware cannabis.
Yeah, you will receive one. I will make sure we make a pit stop. I will have my niece and my nephew with me. They will be with my mom and sister. And I will take a solo trip to the neighboring county. I don't think where I'm going will have a dispensary. And you're not allowed to smoke in public, I believe, is something I read. Which blows. But we'll make do, I guess.
Let's smoke somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's the thing, right? You can't smoke in public.
They can't get high in public or while driving. Well, you shouldn't be high while you're driving. It's illegal. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know, because it's difficult, because if you're going to Delaware as a tourist, what do you do? I can't partake in my Airbnb or whatever I'm staying in. Yeah, your hotel.
Not the telly. I gotta take a stroll. So what does a girl like me to do? I guess we will find out. But don't have more than an ounce on you. You'll get in trouble. They'll fine you.
Delaware state law also prohibits growing your own plants.
Boo. Boo.
Why, Delaware? Come on.
You're so close. Well, at least there's access. I'm happy for you for that. I will experience your brand new system I love doing that. That will be another state that I have, and I will be excited about that. But that sucks butts that you can't grow your own. There seems to be some flaws in this. We will explore further, and we will talk to you and give you a United States of cannabis at some point in the near future. Next week will probably be that time. Until then, we are gonna go and
Don't
did I
panic.
fool you? Did I fool you? I look like I did, right? I'm back, baby. I'm back. It's organic.
Give it up for Adobe, everybody.